Hello and welcome, dear students, to a series of grammar in use. In this lesson, we are going to explore reported speech with negatives. You're requested to get a pen and notepad ready so that you can take down the pointers and the sentence constructions as we go along. Let us dive into it. Reported speech with negatives. Now, first of all, the negatives are found with using the word not, and the word not doesn't go alone. It goes with certain auxiliaries like, for example, do, did, does, has, have, etc. So we need to understand the auxiliaries better, and over here the main verb is hardly touched. Let us see. Negatives in reported speech are formed in the same way as negatives in direct speech. Not is used with the auxiliary or with the main verb if there is no auxiliary. Now let us see the first pointer that we have. Reporting verb, reporting negatives as auxiliaries, negative auxiliaries. When the direct speech is negative using do not, is not, and has not. When the direct speech is negative using do not, is not, and has not. Do, is, and has. Do, is, and has changes tense rather than the main verb. So it is only the word do, is, and has that will change. Now let us see the example that we have before us. I don't work on weekends. This is present simple negative or simple present negative. Now, how do we report this? He said, he. You cannot say don't. You have to change it to did not or the contraction didn't. He said he didn't. Work remains as work on weekends. The main verb is not touched at all. The changes take place in the auxiliary and especially in the word do. Do changes to did. He said he didn't work on weekends. And grammatically, if we were to identify, this is past simple negative. Did not is past simple negative. Its corresponding opposite is do not or don't, which is present simple negative. So do and did, remember that very well. Let us proceed and see certain constructions based on the same rule that we have learned. I don't means do not. I don't want to drive. I would, would, and it is contracted. I would rather walk. Now over here it is given in spoken English. If you are writing for an examination, you need to expand and write the full form properly. Let us see the reported. Sue said, the word that is dropped from here. Sue said she didn't want to drive. Sue said she didn't want to drive. She would rather walk. Let us see the next example. The car isn't starting. Now this is spoken English. If you are changing it to reported speech for your examination, please be mindful of not to use contractions. You have to use the full form. The car isn't starting. Is not changes to wasn't, was not. They told me the car wasn't starting. You can see they told me that the word that is dropped, that is ellipsis, and told is brought in over here, and told has an object of the verb. Told me is there, and the isn't changes to wasn't. So the construction is, they told me the car wasn't starting. The next example that we have is, they haven't arrived on time because of the car. Now, how do we report this? Faye said they hadn't. Have not changed, or haven't changes to hadn't. Present perfect changes to past perfect. They hadn't arrived on time because of the car. Now let us look at the main verb. What is happening to the main verb? Want. Want. Auxiliary. What infinitive? What is happening to the infinitive? To drive. To drive. It remains the same. Starting. Starting. That remains the same. Arrived. Arrived. So the main verb is not touched at all. Let us proceed. The next pointer that we have is reporting other verbs with negatives. What is that other verbs? If a reporting verb is followed by an object, reporting verb, we have studied this earlier, moods, if followed by an object, that is me or us, and an infinitive. Infinitive means to sign, to play, to walk. Then the word not goes between the object and the infinitive. The word not goes between the object and the infinitive to form a negative. Now let us see the construction of the statement and then how we are going to change it. You shouldn't sign the contract. Our lawyer advised advised whom? Me. So it maybe it was said to me. We are changing it to, our lawyer advised me not to sign the contract. And as per the rule, we have inserted the word not between the object of the verb and infinitive. Not makes the reported speech negative. Let us proceed and look at the examples. Don't eat any more cake. It's bad for you. I think I persuaded. The mood word or the reporting verb is persuaded Ivan not to eat any more cake. How do we change the word don't or do not? We change it to not to eat. Not and then the infinitive. Not to eat. Not an infinitive. Let us see the next example. Don't go in the water. It's dangerous. The lifeguard warned, because this statement seems like a warning. The lifeguard warned me not to go. Not to go in the water. Here we have the negative word and the infinitive. I don't think you should stand so near the edge. This also seems like a warning. My friend warned me not to stand near the edge. Not to stand. Not is the negative word and infinitive. Not is inserted between the object of the verb and infinitive. You must not lose your passport while you're away. My dad reminded me not to lose my passport. We have the reporting verb, the object of the reporting verb, and the infinitive. The word not is inserted between the object of the verb and the infinitive. Don't draw on the walls. My dad told me not to draw on the walls. Told me is the object of the word told. To draw is infinitive and not is inserted between the object of the verb and the infinitive. With this, we have come to the end of the lesson. If you like the lesson, click on like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much for your kind attention.